Good morning, YouTube. Two Guns Tony here with another moto vlog. Today's video, we're going to talk about why I started riding. This is a topic that I've been meaning to do a video on, and then a viewer hit me up and said, yo, you should do this video. And I said, yeah, dude, I totally should. Although I don't know if we're going to be able to do it. So I'm here at Cal State San Marcos, Cal State University San Marcos, home of the Cougars. This is where I got my bachelor degree from, my 4-year degree. And this is the parking lot which I used to commute to every single day. So now it's a COVID-19 testing site. I don't really know how much I'm going to be able to film or record around here, but we're just going to talk about it really quick. So this is where I went to school. That building right there is Markstein Hall. It's actually named after a beer distributor, Markstein, the beer distributor. And I worked in the building right on the other side of it. You can't see it because it's right there. But right here where you see all the cones, that's the motorcycle parking. So I would park in there with my motorcycle when I got one. So how did I come to riding? Well, at this school, I started in 2016, and I had to get a parking permit to park in here, in this big, vast parking lot. And also there's a parking structure on the other end of campus too. But to park here, you had to pay $350 per semester to park. $350 to park right there. Not there, because that's reserved for staff and faculty. Matter of fact, I think these first 2 or 3 rows are reserved for staff and faculty. They got a pretty good union, faculty union here that takes care of them. They get parking. So students park in the back over there. And since this is mostly a commuter school, these spots would be packed at about like 7:30 a.m. If you weren't here by 7:30, there was no way you were getting a spot. So then you had to go park down in the dirt lot, which we're going to see in a little bit. This was not an ideal situation for me because I liked afternoon classes. I liked late morning classes. Getting out of the Marine Corps, one of the best things I can say was I got to finally make my own damn schedule. No one waking me up, no bells or horns in the morning telling me what time to get up and where I gotta go and what I gotta do. It was nice. College, I made my own schedule, and I purposely picked classes that started about 9, 10 o'clock. Perfect. Well, $350 is a lot. Even though I was on the GI Bill at the time, and you know my tuition was paid for, the GI Bill doesn't cover parking permits. So $700 a year was quite a bit, and I think the summer parking was like $120 if you took summer classes, which I did. Here's those dirt lots that you had to park at, and I think you actually had to buy a permit down here, but the permit that you paid $350 was good down here too, even though the permit to park down here I think was only like $200. It was not a fair deal. Well, then I saw all the bikes parking up there, and I decided to look into how much do the motorcycles pay to cost. Would you believe it? To park right up front, primo rockstar parking, cost me $70 a semester. Well, your old boy Two Guns Tony knew exactly what he had to do. He had to learn how to ride a motorcycle. But before he would do that, he would buy a motorcycle. Yep, that's right. I bought my first motorcycle and I hadn't a clue how to ride one. It was pretty funny when I went to the dealership. It's no longer open. Well, they renamed or rebranded. It used to be House of Motorcycles. It's now something Ride Now Motorsports, Southern California, Vista. I bought a Triumph Thruxton 900, I think is what it was called. Ace Cafe. It was white and black. It was a beautiful bike. I loved it. I think I paid like 11 grand for it. And the salesman was like, okay, you know, go pick out a helmet and a jacket and ride it home. Oh, that was not happening. I was taking an Uber home that day because I didn't know how to ride. So I had to explain to the guy, I don't know how to ride. Well, he was a nice guy. He gave me some information for a motorcycle safety course, and and that was great. So the bike shows up at home and sits there for about a week until I get my friend over to kind of teach me the basics of what I needed to learn. And then with that, I went and got my permit. So I would say that the parking situation on campus was the impetus for me getting a motorcycle and learning how to ride. But it definitely wasn't the only reason, and I did a video earlier on in the channel, and I'll probably do a refresher soon, of how to lane split. And in California, we can lane split, and that is awesome, because I lived about 10 miles away or so from campus, probably a little less than 10 miles, and on average it would take me about 20 to 30 minutes to get from my house to class, and then obviously find parking, which there was none, and walk across the parking lot. Yeah, it was not a good situation. So lane splitting is one of those things in California where I think a lot of people from outside of California probably like look at us like, you're crazy. But like I said in the lane splitting video, it's like states where they don't have helmet laws. You know, like I look at somebody on a motorcycle and not wearing a helmet as like out of their mind crazy. So there's your little dose of cultural relativism for today. But yeah, I mean, it just makes things so much easier to get around. And I'm not talking about, 100 mile an hour lane splitting on the 5 or the 15, which does happen, you'll see it. But I think people in California kind of just expect it. I don't know if our roads are wider or what, but people just kind of expect it. Let's get on over here to this side. So riding my motorcycle has definitely cut down on my commute when I was commuting. One reason is up here there's a carpool lane, and it's also a toll lane. It's a toll lane unless you're in a carpool. But when you're on a motorcycle, you don't have to be in a carpool, and you don't have to pay the toll. You could just ride right through it. So when I was commuting down to San Diego, I would take that carpool lane all the way down here, and it would make my commute a lot faster. Which, I don't really like commuting. I was pretty happy to get to go work from home. Very fortunate. I know that, I understand that, and I'm very grateful for that. But what made commuting even worse was the cost of commuting. You see, my cage is a Jeep Wrangler Rubicon, and that thing gets 20 miles to the gallon on the freeway with a backwind, pushing it forward. It is a big, not aerodynamic box that just plows air in front of it, and yeah, not good gas mileage. On the other hand, my motorcycle, even this Harley, which is nothing to write home about as far as mileage goes on a bike, I got a 3.5 gallon tank. No, I got the bigger tank. I got like 4 gallons of one. I don't know. Someone tell me how big my tank is, but typically when I fill up, I put about 3.5 gallons in it, and I'm getting about 180 miles out of a tank, and that's with the little stage 1 that I have on it now, Vance&hines exhaust, and I still use the stock air cleaner because it works, and it's good. Maybe because I haven't found anything that I like better. Yeah, that's probably the answer. Carpooling. So normally, that side of the road over there is completely packed, jam-packed, and you can lane split down the left lane, or you just hop over here in this lane, and you get the whole lane to yourself, and you just cruise. It used to cost $8 on this carpool lane. $8 to go from San Diego to Escondido on this tollway. Since COVID, the prices have come down quite a bit, as you can see there, 50 cents to $1, because no one's taking this anymore. I'm kind of just taking it for nostalgic purposes. This was my old commute. So I mentioned earlier that I bought my first motorcycle and I didn't even know how to ride it. Luckily the store was pretty good and delivered it to my house, and the salesman gave me a card for the motorcycle safety course. But of course, you can't tell me nothing, right? So I called my buddy up, and he comes and helps, like I said, get me ready for the motorcycle safety course. But I'm like, you know what? Nah. Screw it. I'm going to go in this DMV, and I'm going to show him I was born for this, right? Yeah, that did happen. I'll save you the embarrassing details, but I didn't pass. I didn't pass when I tried to go take my motorcycle test the first time, the riding part. The written part's easy. I mean, you read the book, you pass the test, boom, you're done. The actual riding part, I did not pass my first time. So I dug through my trash and found that card, and I called him up. And luckily the guy that I talked to, where I called, the driving school that I talked to, I got to talking to him for a while about, you know, what I needed and everything. And he told me, hey, if you're a veteran, you can get the class for free on Camp Pendleton. You just got to call this number. And I guess the school runs the class on Camp Pendleton too. So I was able to take my motorcycle rider safety course on base. What do we got up here? Look at this nice. Look at this thing. We're ready to go. Nice. Little road glide action there, huh? Oh yeah. So I was able to take my motorcycle safety course on base for free, rather than paying like the $400 or $500 that it was going to cost me to take it out in town. So awesome, right? Everything's good. Wrong. I dropped my bike. I dropped my bike at the course, doing the little lollipop thing. You know, I just, I don't know. I don't know what it was. But I know I can tell you one thing, I wasn't going to quit. There's not a quitting bone in my body. I got the bike back up, and I kept riding, and I actually had to take the final test in the motorcycle safety course twice, because I dropped it on the first test. It was tough. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. It was tough. But I didn't quit. And like the other channel, the other guy says, Moto Jitsu says, you gotta practice. You know, it's I haven't met anyone that just got on a bike and just instantly knew how to ride it. Many of them had years of experience or experience riding others. I started riding when I was 28, and it was totally out of circumstance. There's no real reason, other than, well, the reasons that I provided, for me to be on a motorcycle. I had no business doing that. But I did, and I'm glad I did. Because the reason why I keep riding is because of the people I've gotten to meet on motorcycles, the places I've gotten to see, you know, and I plan on sharing more. I'm actually going to do a snow trip for you guys. As soon as we get some snow up in the mountains, I'm going to go do a snow trip up there. All the events that I've gone to, charities I've helped out, different events, organizations. I think that cop was trying to tell that guy to get off his phone. But yeah. So that's why I learned to ride. That's how I learned to ride. And I'm interested in hearing your stories. Down in the comments section, comment, what was your first bike? Where did you learn to ride? How did you learn to ride? I'd be interested to hear what everyone's story is like. I don't know. I always say that my story is unique and uncommon, but maybe it's not. Who knows? Let me hear from you guys down in the comment section. Thanks for watching. This is Two Guns Tony. I do moto vlogs every now and then. I have a couple of gear reviews, a little bit of gaming, and some other content every now and then. I appreciate you watching. I ride out of San Diego on a 2020 Harley-Davidson Low Rider S. Today's kind of a windy day. I hope the audio turns out good. But if it doesn't, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe so that you let me know that I need to work on my audio, work on my vlogging, be a more interesting storyteller, learn how to speak English. Hey, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.